Good morning. My name is Keith Hedrick. I'm the mayor in the city of Groton. And on behalf of the town of Groton and the city of Groton, I'd like to welcome you to this 2020 census event that we have today. I'd like to recognize a couple of our local officials that we have here on stage. Albert Cologne is out with the RTM. Liz Porter is on the RTM, and she is, on the Board of Ed. My apologies, Liz. On the Board of Ed, I know I walked with you. On the Board of Ed, and she is also the chair of the Complete Count Committee for the town of Groton. And I think that's it for local officials. I will now turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Bysiewicz so that she can have her remarks and introduce the rest of the people on the stage. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you so much for your leadership on this important issue, and I'm happy to be back in Groton. I was here just about a year ago with a lot of these folks, and we kicked off Groton's efforts to get ready for the census, and the complete count committees, both for the town and the city, have been collaborating and working hard across the entire Groton community, and we really appreciate their efforts and hard work. And you're going to learn a little bit more about the things that they have been doing to get ready and get prepared. But here is why the 2020 census, which is less than 40 days away, is so critical for Groton and Connecticut. Our state receives $11 billion in federal funding based on how many people we have. And that money goes to fund critical federal programs including Head Start, federal school lunch, SNAP, Medicaid, federal funding for highways and roads and construction projects, also community block grants, and much more. And so we want to make sure that everyone is counted, because for each person we undercount, we lose $2,900. So that is very important that we count each person. The most likely group to be undercounted are our youngest children. So the age group from birth to 5 is most likely to be undercounted. So it's really important that we get the message out to count everyone. We also know that this count is important for political representation, and there will be redistricting in our United States Congress based on these numbers, and also there will be redistricting at our state legislature based on how many people live in Groton. So it's important for political representation, it's important for financial resources, and it's hugely important as well to our business community, because whether you're a Fortune 500 company or whether you are a small business, you make decisions based on how many people are in census tracts in your area. You decide whether you're going to open a new retail operation, locate a manufacturing plant, or new housing based on how many people live in our communities and in our state. Now we know that there are some very big challenges that we face as we prepare to do the count, and that's exactly what our complete count committees have been working on. But the challenges are, first, the digital divide that exists in our state. Not everyone has access to computers, and this is going to be the first census since 1790 that's going to be conducted in part over the internet. That's why our public libraries are important partners in this effort, because they're at the ready to help people complete their forms online. Also, we know there's been a climate of fear in communities of color and in immigrant communities because of the citizenship question controversy, and we want to make sure that everyone knows the Supreme Court has been very clear that that question will not be on the census form. And we want people to know that their personal information is protected and cannot be used for law enforcement purposes by local law enforcement, by federal law enforcement, or by state law enforcement authorities, or ICE, or Homeland Security, and the like. So we want to get the message out that the census is safe, and we also want people to know that it's coming up quickly. People are going to get a postcard in the mail in mid-March, and that will direct them to the federal census website. We hope people will fill out the form online. If you choose not to do that, you can call the 800 number, which is also perhaps very easy for seniors to use. And finally, you can wait for the paper form to come to your mailbox in April. So with that, I am so delighted to be able to introduce one of our partners in state government, who is a very vocal advocate and energetic advocate for Groton, State Representative Christine Connely, for a few words. Christine.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I'm here on behalf of myself and our other representative in Groton, Joe Delacruz, today, who had another commitment. But the census is very important to the towns that we represent. Joe represents Groton and New London, and I represent Groton and Ledyard. As in the past, we feel like this area of the state may have been undercounted. In addition to having a population that moves in and out due to apartments and life, we also have a very mobile population of the military community in Groton and the surrounding towns, and we want to make it clear that our families who are in the military, that there is a very special census rule, and your home for the census is your local address near where you are stationed. So if someone's home of record or car may be registered in a different state, your census address is your local address here in Connecticut. Again, in Groton, we do have 20% of our students are military students, so we want to make sure that our military community is appropriately counted, and that the communities where folks live nearby in Connecticut get the appropriate resources. It's very, very important that we all stick together to make sure everyone is counted. So as we get those postcards in the mail, please have the very important family conversations. So if you have multi-generations living in your household, that you know who's filing the census, and everyone in your household is counted, down from the youngest baby up to all the folks who live with you, so that we get the appropriate resources for everyone, the appropriate representation in Washington and Hartford, and give the statistics to our business community, so that we can continue to grow here in southeastern Connecticut, and make sure we have the appropriate roads, highways, services for all of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. And now I'd like to bring up Liz Porter, who has been working very diligently, organizing so that the Groton community is ready to go and count everyone. Liz, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Good morning. I am Liz Porter. I'm a retired history teacher, so understanding what it means to be part of the census is extremely important. We are a nation that needs to remember that our democracy depends on our citizenry. And quite frankly, I really feel that this is something that is a calling. We need to make sure that we count everybody. We came up with a slogan, I think it was Reverend Adam Thomas, who said in his poster that he created, it says, "Count everybody, because everybody counts." And it is so important for us to understand this. The Complete Count Committee has been meeting since November. We have at least, I think it's now 7 subcommittees that are working in different areas. Albert Colon is working with our rental groups, especially in the city of Groton. Jen Miele is at the Groton Public Library. We are holding an April 1st census celebration all day at the Groton Public Library, and we want everybody to come out. If you haven't already done your civic duty and responded to the census, that's the time to do it. We want to get everybody counted. I have to commend Adam Wright, who is with the liaison with the United States Navy. We have outreach programs ready to go. to go into the community centers and to meet all of our sailors. So we want to make sure that we understand that, as Representative Conley said, where you live is what's important for the census. As a former, or I should say retired Navy wife, this is extremely important that we understand that the resources that we use are needed, are our right, are counted for us in our area. So, you know, you may not be here in 10 years, but somebody else will be. We have to look at our infants. A friend of mine just had an absolutely beautiful baby boy. Well, that baby boy will be 10 years old at the next census. We need to make sure that those individuals are counted. So instead of saying I only have 2 in the family, they now have 3. So I really, my purpose up here today is to encourage all of you. I wouldn't be up here saying this is safe and secure and confidential if I didn't believe it. And I think a lot of you know that I'm really try to be very honest with what I'm doing. I want to commend those of my partners here, especially the League of Women Voters, who are supplying all types of support. If you have any questions, you can always go to the census website. You can get in touch with me. You can get in touch with Mayor Hedrick. There's lots of people that you can talk to. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I want to thank and commend the Groton Town Committee, because we're about to hit the road right now. We're getting action plans are going into place within the next 2 weeks. So look for posters. They're going to be plastered everywhere. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Liz, thank you so much. One of our key partners across Connecticut have been our public libraries, and I'd like to introduce Jen Miele, who is the director of the Groton Public Libraries, to talk about all the good things that they are doing to get ready. Jen. Oh, she's over here. Here you go.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank this committee and being able to be part of the Census 2020, not just personally, but all of our Groton libraries. As Liz mentioned, we are going to be having an April 1st kickoff, and that is going to be at the Groton Public Library as well as Mystic and Bill Memorial. And I want to highlight them because we have computers at every facility, and we really want to encourage people to use us, ask us questions. While we can't walk you through the census itself, we can certainly, answer questions and also help people with computer usage. So please come down, feel free. April 1st is just one of many. We're open all day. We're open 7 days a week. Please utilize us. We will have information, and always we have people on hand that can answer questions. I just really hope that you will participate, because it truly is going to be a benefit for the Groton community. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Jen, thank you so much. I'd like to introduce Sally Booth of the League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters is a partner statewide and also very active in Eastern Connecticut. Sally, please talk about what you're doing.
Thank you very much. The League of Women Voters, our mission is to promote democracy and ensure active voter engagement, and the census is really important as part of this. So our members are here today and also here throughout southeastern Connecticut to help with this effort. Another member with me is Miele Doblecki, Christine Connely, and Pat Wood. We hope you all join the League of Women Voters to get involved in this and other important, essential activities related to protecting our democracy. In terms of the census, the League has been active on the community count committees in all different communities in southeastern Connecticut. We're helping with publicity, we're supporting activities and information sharing about the census, and we're also helping with the kickoff day, April 1st, and we hope that we can get as many citizens to help us participate and promote the census with their neighbors, their friends, their family. So thank you very much for welcoming the League in this effort, and we hope to help you.
Great. Sally, thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Albert Cologne, who represents District 3 on the RTM. He's also a very active member of the Groton Complete Count Committee, and he has a few words for us in Spanish, and he'll be talking about why the census is critical. Albert.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Solamente quería avisarle a la comunidad hispana que este censo es bastante importante para nosotros. Si nosotros no estamos contados en este censo, esto nos va a afectar para el próximo 10 años a nosotros. Y esto no solamente nos va a afectar de cosas financieras, pero de los representantes que nosotros queremos para nuestra comunidad, no vamos a tener los representantes suficientes, los congresistas que van a ser para el Estados Unidos, también no vamos a tener los congresistas y los senadores correctos. Y no solamente esto, pero cuando viene con las cosas financieras que nosotros queremos para nuestros niños, como mejor educación, que los maestros estén ahí para todos sus niños, no van a recibir los fondos correctos las escuelas y las universidades para poder ayudar a estos niños. Quiero, por favor, que ustedes puedan participar en esto y que también se recuerda que esa pregunta sobre la ciudadanía es algo que no nos va a afectar a nosotros. Yo entiendo porque yo vengo de una familia dominicana y entiendo el miedo que algunas personas tienen, pero eso es algo que es seguro, fácil y importante para nosotros. Les invito a por favor poder a contestar eso, y si tienen cualquier pregunta, a hablar con cualquiera de nosotros, y yo soy su representante de Groton y quiero estar aquí para ayudarles a ustedes. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much. I want to give a shout out. Thank you so much, Albert. Great job. I want to give a shout out to the Groton Town Manager, John Burt. Thank you so much for all of your help and assistance and support along the way. And our final speaker, Eva Bunnell, is well known to people all over Connecticut, but in particular to her home, Eastern Connecticut. Eva is a partner with the U.S. Census Bureau. And Eva, I know we've done more than 1,600 events all across Connecticut. It's probably a bigger number, but come up here and tell us what the Census Bureau is doing.
So, as an employee of the U.S. Census Bureau, New York Regional Census Center, and as a Connecticut resident here, I live in southeastern Connecticut, as the Lieutenant Governor shared, I want to first give my deep appreciation and a gratitude to everyone standing here. These are individuals who are deeply committed to realizing a successful count during the 2020 census for Connecticut and here in the city of Groton and the town of Groton. I want to recognize our Lieutenant Governor, who has been the leading voice here in our state, crisscrossing the state for more than a year now, engaging partners at every level of government, all community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, engaged as 2020 Census partners. I want to recognize Mayor Hedrick, Representative Conley, and all of the members here of the City and Town of Groton's Complete Count Committee. They are, because of everyone's efforts, the Lieutenant Governor's efforts, we have more than 146 Complete Count Committees here in Connecticut. Yes, and growing. So before you are the leading voices here in the Groton community. They are our census ambassadors. They are completely engaged in understanding the foundational conversations we need to have in our communities. That the census is coming. Right now is the educational phase of the 2020 census. We will begin inviting households the week of March 12th to respond to the census. That the census is safe, easy, and important. Again, that's the main message that we want to get out in our communities. The homework, the work that our Complete Count committees have been engaged in for close to a year now has been to learn about the communities down to a census tract. How do we take that safe, easy, important message to our communities in a way that resonates? What are the languages spoken in those communities? Where are those areas of our communities here in Groton that we predict, the Census Bureau predicts, will be hardest to count? And who are those key trusted voices who need to speak to those members of our community to ensure that they self-respond when we go live with the survey? The census is safe, As the Lieutenant Governor shared and other speakers here today, it is protected by federal law, Title 13. It means that the Census Bureau and all of its employees are prohibited from sharing any information with anyone who asks, anything that identifies a person or a household. We swear a lifetime oath, each Census Bureau employee, that we will never reveal any information that identifies a person or a household with anyone who asks at any level, including law enforcement, as the Lieutenant Governor shared, or we risk up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 fine. So we take privacy and confidentiality seriously. So the census is safe. It is easy. There will be 4 ways to respond when we go live initially the week of March 12th. The first 2 options that people can choose from to self-respond will be online or by toll-free number options. Each of those 2 response options will be available in 12 non-English languages that cover about 99% of the non-English speaking households. In addition, we'll have 59 additional non-English language guides in video and print format, and we will cover languages not covered in those other options if we are notified by our local partners that we need to hire somebody to speak the language. If people have not responded those first 2 ways, then they can, around April 8th, they'll receive a paper questionnaire in their mailbox. So if they want to respond in writing, they can do that. The last and most costly way, and this is where our complete count committees are helping us, is when a census taker, locally hired, friendly, knocks on the door to get that very same information that people can provide online by toll-free number or in writing. Right now, we are asking people to apply for these census taker jobs. Here in Groton, the hourly rate for these temporary part-time jobs is $23.50 an hour. I have some flyers up here that we're hoping people will take back with them. I know our Complete Count Committee has been posting them up all over and putting them on their social media sites, but we need enough boots on the ground to do that non-response follow-up. So it's easy to respond to the census. It is important, it is constitutionally mandated, Article 1, Section 2, right at the top of the Constitution. It's not an amendment. We conducted the first decennial before we even established our nation's capital. So it is important for all of the very good reasons that everyone here today shared. I'm grateful for all your work, and thank you, and look forward to continuing our work together.
Thank you, Eva. So with that, we are so happy to have members of the media with us, and all of these distinguished folks are available if there's any questions. You good? All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming, and I would encourage people to take some of these wonderful pieces of literature and posters, and please use your networks to get this great message out. And I want to thank each of you so much for all of your leadership and your help on this important issue. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Excellent.